Assalamu alaikum. My name is Akram Hashmi, and I'm the Managing Director for IMANA. And it's our privilege and honor to bring Dr. AbdulHakim Mohamed today. We'll be talking about spirituality leading into Ramadan for us, especially with the time that we're in right now with everything that's going on. We thought IMANA could do something for our members and, just give some advice and see how our healthcare workers are, putting their lives in danger every single day. We thought maybe we can give them a little encouragement and some peace by, offering some spiritual advice and things like that. Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. AbdulHakim. He's been with IMANA for about 6.5 years in different capacities. Very, very funny guy. Very nice, humble, very nice man. He is from Detroit, Michigan, or he's from Dallas, Texas, whichever one he feels like that day, that's where he's from. Dr. Mohamed holds a Ph.D. in Islamic Philosophy from Notre Dame. He earned his MA in Islamic Philosophy from Notre Dame as well. He earned his Bachelors in Islamic Studies from Medina University in Yemen, and has a Bachelor's from Medina University as well too. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. AbdulHakim Mohamed today.
Nice to see everybody back again this week. In today's lecture, inshallah, I want to get us prepared for Ramadan. And I have prepared a preliminary schedule that I want to share with you. But the fact is, before I talk about the schedule, I'd like to talk about the month of Ramadan itself. It's an event. It's an anniversary. It's something that the Sahaba used to wait for 6 months, as we said last week. It's something that used to change the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's demeanor and attitude and behavior, and it brings intensity into his actions and into his ibadats. He would pray longer at night, to the wee hours. He would fast every day. He would finish the Quran al-Kareem with Jibreel alayhi salam and review it multiple times. The universe would feel that it changes because of the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself chosen this month for the Quran al-Kareem to be revealed. Shahr Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. In the month of Ramadan, which within it the Quran was revealed. That means this month is really special for it to be chosen for the Quran al-Kareem to be revealed. And the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Hadith Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she used to say the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was generous. كان الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم جواد وكان أجود ما يكون في شهر رمضان. And he was generous, but he was most generous in the month of Ramadan. That just tells you that there's a difference in the aura of this month that makes it special and unique amongst all the rest of the months. And it allows us to be better. But before I get to how it allows us to be better, I also want to emphasize, for many of us as Muslims today around the world, we wait for this month so we become religious. We start practicing our faith. We fast the month of Ramadan. We pray our 5 daily prayers. But it's almost like just a time thing, where prior to Ramadan in the previous months, we were careless. We lived our lives being loose, not conscious of what we do and what we say and how we attain our lives. And that created a gap in our souls. And it created also a separation with our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's a false perception that we think that we can live our lives whatever way we want until the month of Ramadan comes. Then all of a sudden we attain the rules and regulations and the do's and don'ts of the Quran and Sunnah, which that doesn't work. Ramadan, yes, increases what we are, but it doesn't start from scratch. If you're just starting from scratch when the month of Ramadan comes, that means this month really is not going to do what it's supposed to do for you. This month is like a bonus. It has extra bonuses for you and I to make us be better. So our deeds can be multiplied more so than they are, for example, during the month of Sha'ban or Rajab or Muharram, where the hasana seems to glow in this month, glow in our faces. But we have to build for this. We have to be prepared for Ramadan throughout the whole year, because within it also there's prizes. Those prizes are not for just the people that did well during the month of Ramadan, those people that have been well throughout the year. And so there's a false perception for many Muslims that they can feel the spirituality, the sacredness of this month. Then all of a sudden now they're just holy, and they redecorate their homes, they reestablish their relationship with the Quran al-Kareem, and they just become, which I wish they would throughout the whole year, almost perfect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just there during the month of Ramadan. He's there throughout our lifetime. He's there throughout the year. Imagine you disappointing your parents until you wait for Father's Day or Mother's Day, and then all of a sudden showing up at their doorstep, giving them a gift. While throughout the whole year you had no relationship with them, you had no respect towards them, you have no love shown for them. How would this day be? It's a disappointing day, really. It's a day where they cry, wishing that you've been there all along. They'll still embrace you and tell you come in, but they will embrace you with pain that, where have you been? And they would wish that every day becomes Mother or Father's Day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every single night, He's there calling and telling us, who amongst you is seeking forgiveness so I can forgive them? So you don't need to do Taraweeh to hear that call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does it every night. Yes, He will do it in Ramadan, but He also does it every night. Your Mondays and Thursdays or whatever days throughout the year that you can fast is still for Him. Because He said, As-sawmu li. He didn't say Ramadan is for me. He said fasting is for me. So whether that fasting was during the month of Ramadan, or whether that fasting was during the month of Sha'ban, or during the month of the Hijjah, it's still for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why is it when Ramadan comes, then even the people that don't pray, even the people that have no relationship whatsoever with this deen, they find themselves fasting? That means there's good in them. There's a seed of goodness in their heart. But that seed somehow was never nurtured, never watered, so it can stay alive. And that is, I think, one of the main reasons where people end, at the end of Ramadan, they find themselves returning to where they were before. Because practicing faith is a habit-forming issue. It's not a snap of a finger and then all of a sudden I can contain it and sustain it. The only reason why people are better in the Ramadan, because there's means, there's tools that existed that help them be so. For example, subhanAllah, during the month of Ramadan, the gates of heaven are open, while the gates of hell are closed. And the shaitan is chained. So as you can see, while the gates of Jannah are open, that means there's a lot of blessings and mercy and spirituality. There's a different aura. We can feel it. We're close to almost crying every time we read the Quran al-Kareem. And the gates of hell are closed. So evil really is locked up. Evil is locked up. Temptations are not there. We're not falling into our own seduction and so forth. And the shaitan himself, which is the greatest whisperer of evil, he himself is chained, so he has no access to us. So Ramadan does have that means for us to be better. But Ramadan is only supposed to be a moment of training, a moment where, with all the effort that we have done throughout the year, Allah Ta'ala offers us a month where things get easier. Things get easier so we can do more. Because it is a struggle. We have to understand that being rightful, being on our best is not an easy task. It's a struggle all the time. But Ramadan offers us that opportunity to where it becomes easier, because the things that seduce us, the things that carry us astray, is being taken away from us. And then add to it that during the month of Ramadan, we have a community support. See, human beings by nature, they're always stronger when they're within a group. Not just human beings, every creature that exists is always stronger when they're within their own kind as a group. You can see the animals, they migrate in groups. And whatever one finds itself away from the group is probably a meal for some animal that's waiting for it. Human beings also become stronger with the group. So Ramadan, we fast together, we break our fast together. You know, we are conscious that the universe itself is with us. So we become better. But that's not an excuse for the rest of the year not to be good. Not to be good. Ramadan is not the prize that you just take and then at the end of it you return as you were. Ramadan is a prize for those that have worked hard. Ramadan is a prize for those who have worked hard throughout the whole year to find their good deeds multiplied in this month, to find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offering them bonuses and credits that they can cash in, to find that whatever they were struggling to practice and they did it, now can come smooth and at ease. They don't have to fight it. And the only thing that they will need to fight is themselves. The only thing that will continue to struggle is with their inner weakness. But everything else within the universe is there as a supportive regime, supporting caste during the month of Ramadan. So I wanted to point that out because we fall into this trap, all of us, that when Ramadan comes, it's like, alhamdulillah, Ramadan is here. It's time to really be good Muslims. No, you're always supposed to be a good Muslim. But Ramadan is just a bonus for you as a good Muslim, to where you go from being good to being great. And if you've been great, to being excellent. That's what Ramadan is. We have, throughout the year, occasions. The 9th and 10th of Muharram. We have the 9th of the Hijjah, the day of Arafat. We have days throughout the year that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates opportunities for bonus. We have moments during the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offers us so we can do better and increase our hasanats. You know, at the last third of the night, like I said, praying Fajr in Isha in Jama'ah, you know, the dua on Friday while the Imam walks up to his minbar. These are opportunities of timing to where if you do the good deed, then it becomes more rewarded. But that doesn't mean you don't do anything until then. Otherwise, those moments means nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, "Ta'arraf ala Allahi fi al-raha, ya'rifka fi al-shidda." You get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at times of ease, so He can know you at times of hardship. So until we know Him throughout, He will not be there for us throughout. Now, one of the greatest downfalls that we will find ourselves Yawm al-Qiyamah and not knowing how to answer is when we get there, we find gaps in our lives. And when we want to question those gaps, it's almost like a lost memory. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, Nasullaha fanasiyahum. Hey, they forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in return He forgot them. That moment that He forgot them, it becomes a gap in their lives. You know, I don't know if anyone of you have been through this, but there are moments where you just feel like something was missing in your life, something kind of vacant and empty and hollow, and you don't understand how to explain it. It's those moments that when you forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in return He forgot you, so your life was meaningless. Your life didn't even kind of exist. So we look forward to Ramadan, but I hope that Ramadan is just the prize of our hard work throughout the whole year. And also, I hope Ramadan becomes an reinforcement for us to be able to cope with what comes after Ramadan. Because what comes after Ramadan is going to be as hard as what it comes before Ramadan. In fact, we tend to prepare emotionally a month or so before Ramadan. After Ramadan, we are drained, and many of us tend to kind of just relax and think that I'm done. We're never done. We're never done. Imam Ahmad, he was dying. He was in his bed dying, and then he would go in and out of consciousness. And his son was sitting next to him, telling him, "Oh, Father, say La ilaha illallah." And Imam Ahmad, instead of saying La ilaha illallah, he would say, "Not yet, not yet." His son was puzzled. Why is his father not saying La ilaha illallah? So when he regained his conscience, he says, "Father, I was reminding you to say La ilaha illallah, and you were telling me not yet." He said, "The shaitan came." And he said, "Oh, Imam, you have defeated me." And I replied to the shaitan, "Not yet, as long as the soul is still in my body." Our struggle with ourselves and with our desires and with the shaitan and those who want to deceive us ends when our life ends. Now, month of Ramadan, as I said, things could become easier. One of the strongest reasons why is because we do our actions collectively as a group. We go to the masjid and have iftar together. We pray together. We fast together. So there's a lot of supporting cast. This year is going to be different. This year we're not going to go to the masjid because of the coronavirus and this pandemic that we're going through. So most of our month is going to be settled at home with our families, with our kids. So they're supposed to be our supporting cast now. We have to find a way to where we make them become our supporting cast, and we become their supporting cast. We need to help ourselves and help them be together during this month of Ramadan. And one of those things that we need to do is find a way to do everything together. Find a way to fast together, break the fast together, not just sitting at the dinner table, but throughout the whole day, because they're going to be our supporting cast. Yes, we still can share contacts with our friends. We still might be able to share a meal with our neighbors. But at the end of the day, your supporting cast is your family. And that's why I want to share with you a daily schedule, if I may say, of what might work for you, what might work for me during this month with our family. So the way I looked at it, we wake up for suhoor, and I emphasize we wake up for suhoor because suhoor, Rasul says, "Inna fi sahuri la baraka." There's blessings within eating suhoor. Even if it's just a date, even if it's just water, make sure you wake up for your suhoor. You're doing your suhoor. I would also suggest that you delay your witr until suhoor. Don't pray your witr at the beginning of the night, because it's always better to pray witr the later the better. The later the better. Every time you delay witr is more rewarding. So you pray witr with suhoor, then you pray fajr, and then you sit where you're at. You sit and pray fajr with your family as a group. You sit where you're at and don't get up until sun rises, al-duha. Because in the hadith, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that whoever prays fajr and sits in their place until the sun rises, then the angels are there praying for you, asking for forgiveness for you, for blessing for you, tranquility for you, and your sins will be forgiven until you get up. Can you imagine? You are sitting in a place and you have a full team of angels praying for you. And all it's going to take you is 30 to 35 minutes. That's all it is. Because from Fajr Salah to Al-Duha is about 35 minutes, 40 max in some of the places. So for 35 minutes, you're sitting there and you have a full team of angels making dua for you, and their dua is always accepted. After Duha, there's folks that still have to work and go to work or work from their homes. Our kids, we give them an opportunity to go back and rest and sleep. And, you have a free time, whatever you want to do, until just before Dhuhr, an hour before Dhuhr. I always suggest from an hour before Dhuhr, you consider that Quran time. Quran time. You and your family, yourself, make it a Quran time. It would be very disappointing. It would be very disappointing if we don't finish the Quran Kareem during the month of Ramadan at least once. At least once. It will be very disappointing if we don't finish it at least once. So do that with your kids. Do that with yourself. After Dhuhr, continue doing it. The way I look at it, the way I want to do it is before Dhuhr, that's me. I do it alone. After that, it would be good. I do it with the family. And we do that for like about an hour. About an hour, just reading Quran, explaining some of the verses that we read, reading the tafsir of them. This is the month of Quran. It should be a month of Quran, right? And so after Dhuhr, you do that for a while, then let your kids have their free time. They're still really just barely standing on their feet. They don't have school, so they probably will sleep a little later than they used to at night until Asr comes. And at Asr, there should be a lecture that you attend. One of the fascinating things right now that we have this year is there's countless, and I mean countless of lectures that will be online. Different flavors, different talents. You just see what is it that you want? What is it that entertains you and gets your attention? There are speakers that are known for their spirituality. There are speakers, they're known for their intellectual strength. There are speakers that are known for their academic abilities. There's tons and tons of speakers out there that I can't really count, but you would have access to them. You would find it in Facebook, a lot of links that connects you with those speakers. I myself is looking to do a lecture on a daily basis after Asr, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody's going to be saying something. You see your favorite sheikh, you see your favorite speaker, you see your favorite topic even, and go for it. And have that a time where you and your family sit and hear a lecture. Usually those lectures will run for about 35 minutes to 40 minutes. And then obviously there will be folks in your household that want to prepare for the futur, while the rest probably might want to catch up with their friends. Let your kids have opportunities to catch up with their friends and stuff, doing some of their homework because there's still school during the month of Ramadan. School is not off. So they'll have to do some of the schoolwork and so forth. For you, pick a book. There's a very beautiful book for Aid Karni. It's 30 reminders for 30 nights of Ramadan. So each day, there's a chapter where he talks about the beauty of Ramadan and some of the things about Ramadan. It's a beautiful book. It's been translated to English also. You can download that as a PDF from online. After Maghrib, you're going to have iftar together as a family. That's your supporting team. Your home throughout the day should have somewhat of a religious aura. I'm sure that's going to happen. Have iftar with your family, your sweets, enjoy your time until Isha, and then pray Taraweeh together. I want to emphasize, you cannot pray Taraweeh online. You cannot have virtual Taraweeh online. When prayer comes, the lines have to be connected. So there's no chance for you to pray Taraweeh virtually, but you can pray as a family. One of them can take the Mus'haf and read the Mus'haf while they're praying. Taraweeh itself is a sunnah. Taraweeh itself is a sunnah. So your children can lead the prayers. You can lead the prayers. And if it's all women, one of the sisters can lead the prayers. But you can do that and you can read from the Mus'haf, pray Taraweeh. You want to pray 4, 8, 20, or how many rak'ats you want, that's up to you, inshallah. After you finish Taraweeh, I would suggest that that's a family time of talking, chatting, reading something, playing games, board games. Ramadan doesn't have to be all just ibadah. Just doesn't have to be all Quran. It can be also something that you can enjoy with your family. You have a very big opportunity. Many of us have never been able to spend time with our families. You have now forced to spend time with your families. Get to know them and let them get to know you and have fun. Be creative. Read a story. This is one of the things I love doing. Read a story of people that are not just religiously great, but they were also great within what they were in this world. I mean, your kids have role models, and their role models are, I'm sorry to say, but the worst of people today. They're actors or athletes that are drugs and stuff, but they know their names, they know their children, they know their age, they know their statistics, they know all of that. There's a very rich history in our faith and our forefathers that can actually fulfill. I mean, Salamat ibn al-Aqwa, can you imagine he can outrun a tamed, trained horse? I, I don't think Usain Bolt can do that. I don't think any sprint runner today can outrun a trained horse. Salamat ibn al-Aqwa used to outrun the horse. Imagine if you read this to your children, they will be amazed. Wow. You know, they can vision themselves, imagine themselves to be Salamat ibn al-Aqwa. You know, Sahaba used to lift weights. They used to compete in archery. They used to compete in horse racing. There's so many things, not just the Sahaba. We have rich history. There's a website called islamhistory.com, islamhistory.com. And there's one of the columns that speaks about the history of great men in Islam. It would be amazing if you just read each night one of those stories. Don't try to make it religious, because then your kid just get bored all day. Make it entertaining. The greatest artists in history, you would find there's many Muslims among them. The greatest musicians, there's a lot of Muslims among them. Strategists, scientists, physicians, you name it, we have it. We just haven't looked into it. But I guarantee you, we have such a rich history that our kids, if your kids are into music or so forth and all that, instead of them listening to these rap singers that are basically destroying their morals and character and good in them, there's a lot of musicians in our history that their words are fabulous, fascinating, mesmerizing. You just need to help them find that. And we have all the means and time to do that. So do that after Isha. If there's a movie night, have a good movie night as a family. You know, it's not haram to have a family movie night in Ramadan. Especially, you know, you have to make the movie be right, but it will be amazing that you do have that snack together, popcorn, all that. Turn your part of your house to a masjid and part of your house to entertainment center. That's what you should do. Have it, your entertainment center on one side of the house, and have your masala on the other side of the house, and then have everything else for your family to enjoy for the rest of the house. That's a daily schedule I think is feasible, is realistic, it's fun. It will take care of the whole month. You have the lectures online, you have the reading together, you have the entertainment, and you have the seriousness of your salah together. And hopefully by the end of the month, your family have a different opinion about being a Muslim. It's not being dragged to the masjid where someone is telling them why your clothes are like this or why you're talking too loud. They find the best of their faith within their own household. That is my lecture today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I see you again next week. If anyone has any questions, inshallah, you can ask.
Assalamualaikum, Sheikh. Thank you so much for that beautiful lecture. Really, really incredible to listen to that. We have about 3 or 4 questions. The first question I just wanted to ask you was that you had mentioned in your lecture that people go back to their state of form towards the end of Ramadan or when the Ramadan is over. Can you just enlighten us a little bit of why that is? I know the whole month has a spiritual feel and stuff, but is there a particular reason why that is?
Yeah, it's mental. It's really mental because we take our faith as moments or times of occasion. We don't understand that Islam is a way of life. It's not a monthly thing. It's not a yearly thing where people go to Hajj and come back. It's a way of life. And until we understand Islam as a way of life, I mean, imagine Abu Hurairah said that Rasulullah used to teach us how to answer to nature, how to use a toilet. he used to tell them when they put their shoes on what leg to start with, when they take them off, what leg to start with, when they put their clothes on, what hand to start with, when they even shave, what side to start with, even shaving, even their intimate relationship. He tells them what to say prior to that, what to say after that, within that. Islam is such an amazing thing. It's a way of life, and I think what Muslims have lost is that they thought that Islam is rituals. Islam is not a ritual faith. Islam is a way of life. The rituals are to make your life more pleasant. They're not the objective, because the objective is all of our lives is supposed to be in tune with what Allah Ta'ala sent us down. He said, "Ihbitu minha jami'a." When He sent Adam and Eve from Jannah to this world, He says, "Come down together, and my guidance will come to you." And He mentioned His guidance means His way of life. Way of life will be directed. Adam came down to this dunya not knowing anything. And the only guidance he had is that huda that Allah Ta'ala called it huda. So I think the reason why people tend to be really good in Ramadan, as I said, first of all, because the universe becomes more spiritual and there's a supporting cast of a community. But at the same time, we mentally do not understand that Islam is a way of life.
Gotcha. Jazakallah khair for that answer. Another question we had is that so the momentum that we build in Ramadan, right? We build a habit. People say it takes 21 days to build a habit. So Ramadan is 30 days. So alhamdulillah, we build that habit and we go. How can we take that momentum to the rest of the year? I know we lose it, for various reasons and things like that. Is there something that we can learn from Ramadan that we can, put in our life?
See, the things, subhanAllah, I've always became fascinated how when the month of Ramadan ends, Allah Ta'ala requires us, or Rasulullah encouraged us to fast 6 days of Shawwal. 6 days of Shawwal. One would wonder, okay, I've already done 30 or 29. Why do I need to do 6 more? Why so? And if you read in the books of fiqh, the majority of the scholars, they said these 6 days should be immediately following Ramadan, meaning I finish Ramadan today, Eid, and then right after Eid, I start those 6 days. And the reason why I think, and I've read this in multiple places, they said because so your mentality does not come to you and say Ramadan is over, now I can relax. Ramadan is over, now I can relax. So just as Ramadan ended and you had that 1 day of Eid, now you got to start fasting again. So you're telling your body, it doesn't matter if Ramadan is over, I'm still going to do this. This is something I'm still going to do. And then they said you end up with 36 days, that's 300, multiplied by 10, that's 360 days. It's also a reminder that, hey, wait a minute, that means the whole year I still have to have that relationship to continue. So look at this ayah, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. You know what that means? فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ, when you're done with your ibadah, fansab, get up and do it again. Really? You just said when I'm done, then I have to start all over again. That means it's never ending. So I would like us to enter Ramadan with the mindset that Ramadan is like a training camp, to where we're training ourselves for the rest of the year. So Ramadan is not the objective. Ramadan is a tool and means to an end. Tool and means to an end. The end game is for that habit that you mentioned becomes permanent within our character.
SubhanAllah. Jazakallah khair for that advice. That's very beautiful. The last question that we had is that the schedules you went over, that's a really great schedule. How can people who are still working from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 kind of incorporate that into their daily lifestyle a little bit?
Yeah, I understand that, but the schedule really, first of all, is in general for the family because you are at home. Even if you're working from 9 to 5, you're still at home. So you can incorporate that for the family, and then you can kind of work out the hours. For example, instead of the lecture after Asr, you can move the lecture after Isha. You have a long night. You can do it after Isha. There's a group of speakers have decided that their lectures are not going to be after Asr. Their lectures are going to be in the evening. So if you're not seeing your guy during the day, you can see another guy in the evening. And you can have your kids after also do their Quran, or do their homework. So while you're busy, they're doing whatever they need to. It can be their me time, their free time. And then when you're done, it becomes family time. So the schedule is a draft, and based on whatever you're going through. So for example, I can't do after us with my family because I'm intending to have lectures after us. So my family time is going to be in the evening because that's work for me during the day. Now, some of the evening I might have a few lectures here and there, but I'll work it around and we'll find time to still incorporate all that I said within the hours of the day. Instead of waking 1 hour before Dhuhr, I'll make it an hour and a half, for example. Instead of after Fajr, just sit there and do nothing, I can have after Fajr as if it's family chat. I'm still sitting there, but I can have it as a family chat. We can have an openness of conversation of what do you like, you don't like, of what we have. How can we change things? I mean, most parents don't listen to their kids of what they need to change. It's time to do that. Practice. Just to practice. Let them feel like they have something, a say-so on what's happening.
Right. Thank you so much for that. If anybody else has any questions, please speak up. Or all right. If not, inshallah, jazakallah khair for your great talk, and inshallah, looking forward to next week and also starting Ramadan, inshallah. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.